Yeah, because I was just sort of wondering if you happen to be more left-wing, if you find yourself attracted to someone who has all these stereotypically right-wing characteristics, like gun ownership or whatever.
It's difficult. No, go ahead.
I feel like I'm not typically attracted to someone who has right-wing like ideals, but I wouldn't mind a gun. Like that's not something that's gonna make me be like, no.
Okay. I feel like these days you have to. I mean, if you have a family, you got to protect. I mean, you have to be responsible, very responsible. But
I'm more left-leaning. I wouldn't consider myself a Democrat, but I usually am more attracted to more right-wing people, if anything.
What do you think that is?
Good question.
I don't know. I've never really thought about it. It's a good question.
We have time.
Oh, wonderful. Can I come back?
Because I would have guessed that. I would guess that
guessed
most women, even if they say I'm liberal or I'm left-wing, ultimately, especially if you're thinking for a guy more long-term, but even in the short term, you're probably not attracted to some guy who's like wearing dresses or is super, like makes you pay the check or is kind of, like a soy boy. Beta
soy boy?
Kind of. Yeah.
I wouldn't say all that.
I would say that.
I could see where you are going with that, though, and why people who believe the same things as you would see that. It's just for me, since I said I am left-leaning, not fully a Democrat, I find myself, not fully agreeing with a lot of things that a lot of like full Democrats believe, whereas I don't always believe things that full conservatives believe, but will find a middle ground easier than I will with the really, really democratical people. So
just say you don't like soy boys. Just,
or maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you do.
I mean, I really couldn't say that since like I've dated girls, so it's like that's like.
And also, I feel like feminine men can be very attractive, like very attractive, and I think men that a lot of people who are younger.
Whoa, there.
The younger generation.
I was very upset by your
I know, he was
upset
like
by your statement.
feminine men. No, I feel like a lot of the guys that girls nowadays find attractive are very feminine.
What do you mean by that?
Like, look at Harry Styles. I feel like he's a very feminine.
Well, he has
guy.
a lot of status too.
But
so.
I still feel like I mean, personally, he doesn't do it for me. But I know a lot of girls who do like him. And
Harry
like,
Styles slides into your DMs.
Very feminine looking.
Yeah.
But just because they wear dresses doesn't make. What makes them feminine?
I feel like
said the dress thing.
but
But
also
his
the
other
soy
features
boy.
are
But like
somewhat
Timothy
masculine.
Chalamet,
Yeah.
like he
Features
like
are
he
masculine.
seems very. He doesn't seem like super like gym rat masculine like
No.
big guy. No, they're very like skinny,
Slender.
scrawny, like slender men. Like I feel like
Feminine fat features.
yes, and they're very like soft. They come off soft, not like someone who's very strong and aggressive. And I feel like a lot of times women find that attractive.
I think younger women tend to find more feminine men a bit more attractive, but I think as women start to get older, they do start leaning more and more towards more masculine men.
Or it could just be like a generational thing.
That's true.
I think
Perhaps.
it could be just like the way that our generation is versus other generations. I
Or a
don't know.
regional thing too.
Yeah.
Well, I also think there's a component of social proof too, because if all the other women find him attractive, it's almost this if the other girls find him attractive, oh well, other women will find him attractive too. So really quick on the women finding feminine men more attractive. And Michael, maybe you've heard of this. I've heard that women who take birth control tend to, and maybe it's something with how the hormones are changing them, tend to find men with more feminine characteristics attractive when they're on birth control.
I would believe that because I'm now convinced birth control just poison.
I think it changes your brain.
Oh, it
Totally.
does.
Totally.
It does.
You have you sort of experienced this, or this is stories you've heard from people?
No, I think a lot. I've been on multiple different types of birth control, and I feel like they've all affected me differently in different ways. And I feel like birth control shouldn't affect you in your like brain.
Because they tell you, they say, "Oh, this isn't going to affect anything about your body." It's like, well, I don't know. I'm taking a bunch of hormones constantly. Like I don't know. If I eat a cookie at lunch, it affects the way that I feel.
Yeah.
So I think pumping myself full of hormones will do that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like the rare case where if anything, since having an IUD, I never took birth control before having an IUD in the end of 2020, middle of 2020. Before that, if anything, I dated more women, more feminine men, and ever since then I've dated more masculine men. And I also like,
Is it a hormonal IUD?
Yeah, okay. It is. I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen. My boobs got bigger at first, but they went back down. That's like literally the only thing I noticed. Yeah, my titties. I went from like a solid like B cup to like a solid like full D with right away. But then they went away. They deflated again. But
Do you think the reason that you started dating more masculine men once you got on birth control was just in your mind you had less of a fear of getting pregnant? So you said, okay, now I'm not going to date women or whatever.
damn, I never thought of that. Huh.
You're like a psychiatrist.
I consider
That
myself a
was
love doctor.
A good one.
Michael is the new co-host of the show. We've
didn't
poached
know
him from the
that.
Daily
I'll move
Wire.
back to Santa
Uh,
Barbara.
You're
It'd be
asking
great.
all the questions.
Yeah. So, okay, let's do a couple chats here. So we have, everyone seemed to be fine with a guy who is pro-gun and owns firearms.